Hey, what's up? So, sorry if it's not the right like height or whatever, but I was thinking about the concept of rejection therapy, and how in my life that the rejection and all that kind of stuff has almost felt like it's almost felt like it's like when you're trying to ride a bike, and so and you just keep falling off, and how like good that can be for you, like. And I'm rusty at this stuff, talking and stuff like that, so bear with me. But rejection, in some form or sense, feels to me, as I've gone through it over and over and over again, as like they kind of talk about when one door closes, another one, better one's out there, whatever. It feels like trying to get in a door and using different keys. Like you have that thing with a bunch of keys on it, and you just keep trying to do it, and it's just not fitting. That's kind of what I think it's felt like for me in my life. And I'm sure to varying degrees, pretty much everyone experiences that. It's ever present when it comes to relationships or friendships, or even you can even think about it with food. Like you can try flavors of like ice cream or different types of whatever, different types of cuisine for different countries or whatever. And you're like, oh, I don't like this, I like this. You're like, oh, I don't like these, I don't like these flavors, but I like this one. You almost need the rejection to be there for you to even understand if you like something in the first place. You need that. See, rejection is just like, it's a really harsh term, but in a sense, it's more so just something not working. It's something like, it's like it's something not going right, or something not going in a way to where you're like, okay, that worked. It's stuff not working out. And in my like last 5 years of my life, in the last however many years of my life, it's played this unique part to me where I've had all this time to think, and so I'm not just doing random stuff. Like I'm not just willy-nilly out there, just kind of whatever. Like there's a gut instinct, and there's things behind what I'm doing. Like, because I'm sitting and thinking about this stuff repeatedly. I'm thinking about every friendship, every relationship, where I'm living, what I'm doing, this and third. I think about it more than I ever did in my entire life. And not an overthink aspect. I used to overthink a ton, and I would never do anything. I used to overthink and never do anything, and now I still think a good lot because I have a bunch of free time to think, no matter what I'm doing, really. But it's thinking in terms of like, okay, how to be strategic, how to be like, you know what, okay, so if I feel a certain way, why do I feel this way? Okay, what things prompt me to feel this way? And do I want to feel this way, or do I want to feel a different way? Or should I be around these people, or should I do these things? Or why do I have these desires and the unfulfillment and this, that, and third? All this kind of stuff I'm thinking about. And it's all been a byproduct of being rejected, and the sentiment of something not working out that I thought would work out, and that happening in a cycle, in a loop, over and over and over again. And for me, I don't know why. Me and the man upstairs, it wasn't like I made some pact or something like that, but I've noticed that there's been this constant state of rejection being like almost like it's a running mate, or I'm trying to think of how to phrase it, but rejection's kind of just always been there. It's always like, it's like my shadow. It's like something that's been ever present through everything I've been doing. It's not like the thing like, oh, hope for the worst kind of thing, but I've just experienced, in a sense, that key thing so often in my life, and yet I see it leading me in a better place and putting me in a better spot. And yet I go to that spot and I still have that rejection, or have that sense, whether it comes to career, or whether it comes to love/relationships, or whether it comes to the way I feel, emotions, all that kind of stuff, or whether it comes to where I'm at. All that kind of stuff is, in a sense, been a constant state of rejection, a constant state of failure, all these words that I don't like to use, even like to think, but that's just how you phrase it. It's how it goes. Like, it's not like, I don't think there necessarily is a good or bad, but you can phrase that as, okay, that was bad versus good, whatever. But the therapy aspect of rejection is that it teaches you and humbles you constantly. You're always like, I never really had much ego, which is kind of crazy. Like, quote unquote, I probably struggle with more ego type stuff now, dealing with more rejection than I ever did when I wasn't getting rejected constantly just by life. But it humbles you real quick, and makes you really think when you're constantly getting rejected, or when there's that aspect of understanding that things are not going away that you can predict. So you have to almost think or act in a different like frame or a different whatever than you're used to. Like the rejection part of my life has made me, okay, like go from, okay, so I'm here doing this, whatever. I try this thing and then it does fails. And I try this thing, it like, or rejection or whatever. Try this thing, I try this thing, I try this thing, and it keeps expanding and pushing me in a way that I like whatever I was and what I was doing even before like losing my dad or before going through the process of really like reevaluating my life. It's like leagues is way different, and it's not like, oh, I've become some whatever, I'm doing this sort of. It's just that the therapy, the rejection, all the kind of stuff that life has put me through in a good way. I don't want to say it in like, oh, put me through whatever, but it's allowed me to think in terms of why not, and I'm thankful for this, and whatever words you want to use to be like kind of liking it. Like I kind of almost am addicted to the rejection and almost addicted to life prompting me to do things and whatever and be in a spot. And I think that there's some aspect of my liking of that over time that has allowed life to kind of push that a little further than even I could have guessed. Even like in the middle of this, like even while I'm going through this or feeling this way or like things, whatever, like I'm still pretty surprised of where I'm at in the rejection. Like things happen very strangely. Like there was a thing with this one girl I know, and someone like that, like very weird circumstantial stuff, and that was another form of this same constant thing that I keep feeling where almost is like I'm not like directly searching or whatever. Like I'm not even like actively trying stuff, but I'm like there's that underlying desire of me trying to find like connection and find that kind of thing, because I'm like it's one of those things that is actively like I can tell I can feel that there's some aspect of that not being present in my life. So having something like that be like a bait, and even actively knowing, I was still surprised by the fact that something like that happened, and it's so strange. It's like I don't know if any of y'all can relate, but I feel like even when I expect the unexpected, it's still being like I'm still being like tame, or I'm still like whatever. Like I'm still like kind of underplaying what it really is happening. But it's so interesting and so unique to just constantly be humble, to be rejected, because it makes life feel a lot more like almost like a game, or like a I don't know what to describe, but then some like then some cycle that you're just constantly on the same loop or whatever. Like I feel like it feels kind of like climbing a mountain, and you're like, okay, you're like, oh, you're climbing a mountain, and you're tripping a bunch of times, or getting tired, or like, oh, it's hot, so you're like sweating, so like there feels like doing something that you don't quite know where it's going, but you kind of are seeing it, and it's like things are happening that are making it tougher, but you almost kind of like it because you're like, okay, this is a challenge, it's good, versus it just being a flat like sunshine and whatever. And I think that comes from seeing the beauty of rejection in what it could be. So yeah, to anyone out there who's dealing with rejection in any form of fashion, whether it's relationships, just family stuff, friendship stuff, career, school, work, all that kind of stuff, understand that it's not really as much a rejection or a failure as it is a way to learn and grow. Because it's like there's that whole thing about like, oh, things not working out, doors closing, whatever, all that stuff. It's like I don't know how to say this, but it's like kind of it's like working out. Like that's the best way I can think of it. Your body is breaking down. It needs to be sore. It needs all this stuff in order for it to grow and get bigger muscles or be in better shape. Like it needs to go through that process. You don't grow bigger, get healthier and stuff without doing the tough stuff. And so the tough stuff sometimes involves things not working out. And ultimately that's for the betterment, but it's tough to see in the moment. But there's a certain beauty in rejection therapy and what it can do for your life. So I don't know. But I don't know if I'm post this, but I love y'all. See y'all soon. Subscribe, like, and bye.